Hey, what's up guys, Will here for GSM Arena. If you're looking for a higher end Samsung A series mid-ranger, the Galaxy A56 is the top model this year. But at the next tier down is the Galaxy A36, which also happens to provide many of the same features. Is it worth it for you to spend the premium for the A56, or is the A36 enough for your needs? Let's put these two Galaxy phones head to head and find out. With each generation, lower tier A series phones get better and better as the features trickle down, and the Galaxy A36 is nearly as good as the top model. The Galaxy A56 does have some advantages though, and hopefully it should soon become available in the USA too, unlike its predecessor, the A55. The two phones look practically identical. They're both flat, with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protecting the back and the front. The only real difference design-wise is that the A56 has a brushed aluminum frame, while the A36's is plastic. Otherwise, holding them in hand, you couldn't tell the difference between the two. For ingress protection, both phones are IP67 rated, which means they have some protection against water submersion. At first glance, the two phones have basically the same display, a 6.7-inch OLED with a 1080p resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. The looks and performance of both are quite good, really no difference, except that the A56 has support for HDR10 Plus video playback, while that's not supported on the A56. Otherwise, both displays get just as bright. The A36 and A56 maxed out at just over 1200 nits. The refresh rate handling is the same too. Both have 120Hz to smooth out swiping and scrolling, which dials down when the phone is idling to save energy. The Galaxy A36 and A56 have stereo speakers for your audio, and the performance is about the same. Both setups have good loudness, and the sound quality is very similar, with deep and warm sound. Let's have a listen to compare.
Close the window and your eyes disappear into the blue. Wrap your fingers around the great escape.
You can wake up and unlock either phone with an optical under-display fingerprint reader. And both phones come with 128 or 256 gigs of storage, not expandable through microSD. However, that storage is faster UFS 3.1 on the Galaxy A56 versus UFS 2.2 on the A36. Both phones run the same software interface, Samsung's latest One UI 7 on top of Android 15. This means you get the same feature set on both phones, including a few AI-based ones. If you'd like to find out more about One UI 7's specific features, you can check out our dedicated video. Samsung offers a lot of software support for its new mid-rangers. The A36 and A56 will get 6 major OS updates and 6 years of security patches. One of the biggest differences between these two phones is the chipset performance. Inside the Galaxy A36 is a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 from Qualcomm. The Galaxy A56, on the other hand, runs on an Exynos 1580 made in-house by Samsung. Again, mid-range tier silicon. But in benchmarks, the Galaxy A56 demonstrates significantly better performance, scoring about 30% more across the board. We wouldn't consider the A56 a powerhouse by any means, but it may be the better choice if you're planning to play the occasional game. Regardless, both phones run smoothly for your daily tasks. And as you might expect from two phones with relatively modest performance, both the A36 and A56 do a good job in handling their thermals without overheating. There is only a slight difference when it comes to battery life. In our battery life testing, both phones earned a comparable active use score, though the A56 was slightly ahead overall. And within individual tests, the A36 was better during gaming, while the A56 had longer endurance during video playback. When it comes to charging though, there's no difference. Both phones support 45-watt charging and charge at the same clip, achieving a full charge in around 75 minutes. Now let's move on to the cameras. Both of these phones have a similar triple camera setup on the back, which includes a main cam, an ultra-wide, and a dedicated macro camera. However, the Galaxy A56 has a different sensor on the main camera, and its ultra-wide is higher res, at 12 megapixels. In broad daylight, The quality from both the A36 and A56's main camera is pretty close to indistinguishable. But going into 2x digital zoom, you do see better quality from the A56. The quality advantage of the A56 is a lot more prominent in low light conditions. Its main cam handles both shadows and highlights a lot better. Light sources end up pretty blown out on the A36. Also, the A36's white balance is not as on point as the A56's, with photos coming out more on the yellowish or reddish side. During the day, you do see an advantage from the A56's ultra-wide camera in terms of detail and dynamic range. And the same trend can be seen when shooting at night too. Here's a look at macro close-up photos taken from both devices. The cameras are identical. And now for selfies. Both phones have a 12-megapixel front-facing camera, but like the main cam, these have different sensors. The results are about the same though, unless you go pixel peeping. And here's a look at 4K selfie videos taken with either phone. While 4K recording is supported on both phones' main and selfie cameras, the ultra-wide is a different story. On the A36, it's limited to 1080p. Both phones capture nice 4K videos with their main cameras, with good detail and low noise. However, the A56 has a wider dynamic range, and the A36 tends to favor a darker exposure. The A56's ultra-wide has the clear advantage due to its higher resolution. Its videos are more detailed and cleaner too. And while the main camera on the A36 holds up surprisingly well in low light conditions, it still captures slightly softer and noisier videos than the A56. So there you have it, the top model of Samsung's A series versus its lower tier rival. The Galaxy A56 and A36 look identical, and they have the same ingress protection, and an identical screen and speakers. You get the same software features and support. Battery life is comparable, and charging speed is identical. And despite the differences in quality, the camera setups are functionally the same. The A36 doesn't bring specific advantages other than a longer battery runtime when gaming, but it's about $100 cheaper than the higher tier model. With the A56, you get an aluminum frame, a more powerful chipset, faster storage, HDR video support, and better camera quality across the board. In the end, the Galaxy A56 could be worth it if the faster chipset performance and slight improvement in camera quality are important to you. Otherwise, the Galaxy A36 will give you about the same experience for less money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.